Just a few weeks ago, I was watching the Stanford seminar via computer with a friend, and a question came up. And my friend said, well, do you think Abraham could answer it? And I said, yeah, I think that they could. So here's the question. If we all are born in alignment and all-knowing and part of Source, what happens? How come most people on Earth are not in tune?
Well, most people are not out of tune all the time. They just are not in tune deliberately and consistently. So look at it this way. You were source energy prior to your emergence into this physical body. And you were distracted from that alignment by your observation of what's going on. But that distraction is not a bad thing. It's part of the sifting and the sorting and the self-determining of what you're wanting. So if we were to give one simple answer about why more aren't more consistently in alignment, it's because you have given way to your own desires for the sake of pleasing others. You care more about the response that you get from people than you do about your own emotional response. Because if you really cared about how you feel, you would guide yourself differently. But when you care about how they feel and they're already out of whack, then you just can't please them. Does that sound too simple? Because that really is the answer. You see, if you accept that you were source energy before this emergence and that you still are, so that there is this vibrational relationship that is playing against itself all the time, and you are feeling for that resonance or that allowing, then you can find the thoughts easily and early that feel good and guide yourself to a point of attraction that helps you to be in alignment. But when you're first come into this physical experience and your parents want behavior from you because they have already sort of forgotten. We know the question that's coming next, but stay with us for a little bit. Why did they forget? They have already forgotten that it has become less and less important for them to find the good feeling. So everyone wants to feel good. Let's start there. And most of the people who surrounded you when you first entered this environment wanted very much to feel good and believed that their feeling good was really dependent upon the way others around them behave. So they begin training you to behave in a way that pleases them. But you never can really please them because they're looking for that pleasure. They're looking for that love in all the wrong places. If someone needs you to behave in a certain way in order for them to feel good, and it's really easy as parents, you want your children to behave. You don't want them to bother you. You don't want them to annoy you. You don't want them to not live well. So as you are asking others to change their behavior so that you can feel better, that only carries you a little way. Have you noticed how resistant others are to pleasing you?
That's right.
So when you rediscover, we have a question back to all of you. So we accept your question, why would you lose your connection? But the question back to you is, why have you not found your connection? Because it wasn't permanently lost. It was right out there in the open. Every thought that you think gives you an indication of finding yourself or losing yourself. So the question back to you is, why are you willing to put up with negative emotion? Why are you willing to endure thinking a thought that doesn't feel good? Why are you willing to think a thought consistently enough that you get momentum going that a whole segment of the political party is wrong? Why are you willing to think, why are you willing to push against and deprive yourself of alignment by thinking that thought? Why are you willing to feel negatively about yourself or about anything? And the answer that you give back to us is because we didn't know that the stakes were so high. We didn't know that the way we feel is our indication of alignment. And we say, but it's right there for you to feel. Try it for 30 days and show yourself, you see. You'll reach the place that what others do and what others think doesn't keep you from your alignment. But you've got to find your alignment before you notice what they're doing. So it's the cart before the horse thing, we think. The reason that we've come to interact with you in this way is to remind you of what you already know. And as you listen to us for a while, you begin to find resonance with your true knowing. And as you practice that resonance with that true knowing, it becomes first something you're hoping for, then eventually something that you are mostly believing, and then finally something that you really know. And then the question that comes from you is not, why was I willing to come into an environment where there was a potential of me losing my balance? Then the question would be more like, why was I willing to put up with the evidence of my having focused myself out of alignment for so long? And the answer to that is because you have persuasive people around you. Here's the law-based answer. Here's the physics answer. It's about momentum. So let's say that you're born to someone who really wants to feel good but doesn't, who is overwhelmed with life and who is worried about a lot of things and has been hanging around on that vibrational disc long before you got there. So you're born from pure positive energy into an environment with a strong influence in your life of, let's say, a person who is not in vibrational alignment with who she really is. She hangs around on the disc of overwhelmment, let's say, and frustration, and even some fear. So you are interacting with this person, and you're still bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And so to her, you seem frivolous. You seem happy when she doesn't feel happy, which is annoying because she wants to be happy. You seem careless instead of concerned. You seem free when she feels bound. And so she watches you in your freedom, and while she wants to love you, she cannot feel the vibration of love and the vibration of fear, or the vibration of love and the vibration of overwhelmment, or the vibration of love and the vibration of frustration at the same time. So she is emitting, we're just giving you an example, she is emitting the vibration that is an indication of where she is in relationship with her source energy. And you are offering your vibration in relationship to your relationship with. In other words, you're still feeling happy even though she isn't for a while. Then she begins to feel an even stronger gap between the joy that she wants and the joy that she's feeling, because you are evidence of joy and she is not feeling it. And so now here's where the law-based part of this comes in. So she's hanging around on a disc about here, and you're hanging around on a disc about here. As she has been there longer, felt that way a long time, she's got a lot of momentum going on this disc. And in time, she will influence you to join her there. So the question is, why did I go so easily? And we say, it wasn't easy. It wasn't sudden either. You didn't go there easily and you didn't go there quickly. You went there gradually because you didn't know better. But now you do. Now you've pushed the reset button. Now you know the difference between feeling good and feeling bad. Now you know that while much of the world is running around on a vibrational disc that we would just have to call frustration or even mean, because they don't feel good and so they're sort of lashing out in uncomfortable ways, you have an option of staying on your disc or of going where they are, and the answer to why you go there lies in how solidly you are on your disc. That's why we're encouraging you for 30 days to get solid on your disc, to get so solid on your high-flying disc that your momentum dominates. So let's say that you're on a high-flying disc and someone close to you, maybe your spouse, maybe your children, maybe your teacher, maybe your employer, somebody up close to you is consistently not on a high-flying disc, but you've managed to get there and stay there for 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 days. So now the momentum is with you. You are in vibrational alignment with who you are. You've got the energy that creates worlds flowing to you and through you. So now you're solidly there, which means as you're vibrating here and they're vibrating, if you're not a vibrational match, you'll bounce off of each other. You'll start zigging and zagging. You'll have fewer encounters with one another. You will be literally repelling one another because the vibrational frequencies are different, you see. So how is it that you could be influenced from your high-flying disc down to a lower disc? Well, if you haven't practiced it, if you're not solid there, if you are listening, and here is the crux of it. This is the physical, specific, direct answer to this very important question. In your desire to understand each other, and in your desire to communicate with each other, you've discovered just through trial and error that if you're not in the same vibrational frequency with them, you're not going to hear them and they're not going to hear you. Haven't you noticed that? Mm-hmm. Isn't that why you cluster together in the way you do? If you're in a really bad mood, do you call your high-flying friend? Or does your high-flying friend just annoy you? Don't you call the one that you're pretty sure will complain with you about that issue if you're in the mood to complain? And so this isn't just something that you've come to out of the blue. It's something that you've discovered through your experience of life. Law of attraction causes you to come together. And so again, we're on the subject of momentum. So the question that you are presenting and the way you presented it, we have heard it from many, is, Abraham, I believe that the momentum of negative emotion is a very powerful momentum. And I want to know how did that powerful negative momentum get started if we are, as you say, all pure positive energy? And we want to say, we really want you to hear this, that if you're looking at the big picture, that statement is absolutely not true. That this high-flying energy is the dominant vibration, and that this well-being, this love, this source energy is the dominant vibration, and that even though you can be born into this physical body and lose your way within it and suffer as a result of it, when you have your death experience, you will return to that high-flying energy. And as we said earlier, we just don't think you should have to croak in order to reclaim that high-flying energy. So here we are talking to you about how to reclaim it and what the easy way of reclaiming it is. First, you've got to accept that you are living in vibrational frequencies. You are living in vibrational realities. We want you to accept that you can control your frequency, which means you can control who you rendezvous with. And as you begin practicing this a little bit, and you regain your chronic vibrational place where you belong in this good feeling place, then your question doesn't come out like the question that your friend presented to you. Then you don't say, oh, Abraham, why would I come forth into an experience only to be influenced out of vibrational alignment with who I am? Then you say something more like, Abraham, I see how I came into this physical experience and I explored contrast, and for a while I kind of got stuck in step one. But it was nice when I realized that I have the vibrational aptitude to come into alignment with who I am, and so now I enjoy exploring contrast from my chronically high-flying disc. Now that's a big statement, and it's a new statement, and it's what Esther wants us, and we're going along with it, to call step 4. In other words, once you have asked this question, how did I lose my alignment? And you've found the answer, how do I regain my alignment? And you've practiced regaining your alignment enough that Even if you find yourself sitting in traffic, it doesn't cause you to lose your alignment. And because you haven't lost your alignment, you rarely sit in traffic, if ever. In other words, once you discover that feeling good does cause results that cause you to feel good, which causes results that cause you to feel good. But can you feel how we're sort of trying to guide you away from needing a good experience to observe in order to feel good? We want you to get hold of this. We want you to feel good, which creates the experience that causes you to feel good, rather than need the experience to feel good before you feel good. Because if you need the experience to feel good before you feel good, which means you're not in an experience of feeling good, now you're in a vibrational place where the experience that makes you feel good can't come, and now that's the answer to your question, you see.